All right, today is the 27th of October, 2022. And what I've done here is I've torqued the cap bolts down 87 foot-pounds. I've got 108 thousandths on this side, and I forgot exactly what I have on this side, but I've got bearing preload for sure, because when I take these caps off, I can't pull it up out of there by hand, at least not without serious effort. So I think I'm there now. This is, let me set that to 0. I've got about 7 thousandths backlash at this point. Yeah, 7 thousandths. So that's about perfect. I've got a good contact pattern. Where's my contact pattern? Let me go ahead and take a look at that. I'll be right back. Okay, so this side of the flank is the drive side, and you can see I'm not perfectly centered in there, but you can see the end of the tail of the pattern is about right there, and this one is not going off the tooth, so that's a good sign. Let's see if we can get into that one there. Yeah, the lighting is a little bit harder. Okay, there. So you can see that they're not going off of the edge of the tooth. It's kind of stopping right there. And it's going down right there. It's not perfectly centered, but it's not in the root of the gear tooth. It's not on the land side. It's about where what is called the addendum, or actually the pitch circle. The addendum is the top half of the gear flank, and the bottom part of the gear flank is called the dedendum. Anyhow, it's about on the pitch circle, a little bit more towards the heel than the toe, but not bad. And the thing of it is, on the coast side, let me move this around. On the coast side, it is also not centered on the pitch circle, maybe more in the addendum area, but not coming off the tooth on either side of it. And that's important. And when you look at the description of the scenarios here, this is the coast side, and that's kind of where I am on the coast side on that pattern. Maybe a little bit more into the pitch circle. The correction is to decrease the pinion shim thickness. But if you go over here on the drive side, I'm also towards the heel. You know, the top outer diameter of the ring gear. Its correction is increase the pinion shim thickness. So decrease and increase. So that puts me at a stalemate on that. So I think that's about where it's going to need to be. The backlash again is 7 thousandths. I believe I'm where I need to be. These are torqued down to 87 foot-pounds. I don't have the full pinion preload, but I have some. I'd say maybe 10 inch-pounds. So I think I'm going to call it right there. I'm going to confirm with my friend there at Auburn Gear, but I think we're going to go on from here now. Okay, what I'm doing here is confirming that I have 0 end play, having taken out one of the shims, the 7 thousandths from this left side. Now remember, taking a shim out of this side causes the ring gear to go toward the left naturally, which would increase the backlash. So that's not the point though. I am putting this back in, but I want to confirm that I have 0 end play here and trying to, I'm going to set the camera down, but basically what I have to do, where's my finger? I've got to try to make that needle move by pushing the whole carrier, whole differential this way and then pulling it back this way. I've got the needle, the stylus or whatever, well seated onto the ring gear here. So I'm gonna I can't get the face of that thing to tilt up though, however, just the position it's in. But in any case, this is gonna work. So I'm gonna push the whole setup this way and back this way and see if I get any movement. If I don't get any movement, then that means I will have 7 thousandths of preload, which is almost ideal. 8 thousandths, 4 thousandths on each side is what they tell you. But I know that I've got to have this one in order to get the correct gear tooth pattern as well as the backlash. So I'm kind of cheating that whole idea, but it's still going to produce the desired result. And also on the profile that I'm getting here on the drive side and the coast side, I did get a confirmation from the guy at Auburn Gear, and he said that it looks great. That he thinks that I've accomplished what I needed to. So, and he said, nice job. So I feel good about it, and that's what I'm gonna go with. All right, let me check in. All right, so I have 0 in play when I try to move back and forth here. So I am good to go. This is my preload, 7 thousandths. So what I'm gonna do now is pull this whole thing apart, making sure I keep my shim pack where it needs to be. Because I've gotta put in the, front bearing, the permanent front bearing. I'm gonna get all this cleaned up with some brake clean and add some lube to the bearings and get everything put in, and then get my preload set on the yoke side. And this is going to be torqued to 15 to 25 inch-pounds. And once that's done, this whole operation is done, and I'll be able to button it up. I need to get some RTV, I think, and put it on this outer edge. Button that up, and then I'm ready to put the axles in. All right, see you in a bit. Yeah, I'm having a little difficulty installing this pinion side race. So I'm going to heat this housing up, and I've got the race in the freezer. So I have some expansion here and some contraction hopefully there. Let's see what we got. I'll be back in a minute. All right, that took some doing. I heated up the housing. I put the race in the freezer to try to condense, and I put a thin film of gear oil on the thing too to help it ease down in there. But it was very tight fit. Got all the shims centered in there like it's supposed to. So now I'm going to drop the pinion down in and get it all assembled. Okay, tell you where I am right now. I've got the pinion installed, and everything put together. Got the inside race installed, and then this outer bearing, the new bearing, or the crush sleeve went on, new bearing, new seal, then the yoke, then the nut. Now on the nut, this is where you establish preload, and I'll show you what I had to use. Actually, my wife helped me on this. If you can see this, I think it's like 1-inch pipe that I happen to have at the edge of my property that I was able to cut. I had to put that on the yoke, and then have an extension about this long with the breaker bar And I'm telling you what, it took the weight of my body pushing down to get that crush sleeve that's in there to finally give. And once we did that, we eased into what is supposed to be the preload. And so using my inch-pound measurement device, torque wrench, when you spin the pinion, I've got... Casper, it's okay. When you spin that, I have 22 inch-pounds. And that, it's supposed to be between 15 and 25, I believe. So that is perfect. So I am real happy about that. I'm going to stop there and then get ready to install, clean up, and then install the differential. Here we go. All right, it's in there, and I've got the bearing cap bolts facing in the right direction and on the correct side. I marked an R and an L there just to be sure, but I know that the two little divots there and the one divot right there corresponds to right and left respectively. So at this point, I'm going to double check my gear pattern, contact pattern, and my backlash. All right, the contact pattern looks good. Hadn't really changed. Looks about the same as it did. And so now I've got the dial indicator zeroed out. I'm checking backlash here. Looks like 7. So that's what the backlash was before. So I think I'm good to go. Preload is there on the pinion bearing. I've got preload on the bearing caps. Everything's spinning. I did lube the bearings too. I just put a little bit of gear oil in the the side of the bearing so it could flow down in there. So yeah, this thing's ready to close up now. Finally. So that was a neat experience. I actually enjoyed it. Took a while, but it's the first time I've ever done it. So I'm gonna get some RTV, get this, finish cleaning this up, get some RTV, and I'm gonna go ahead and button this up. All right. All right, I thought I would just record for the video all the shim combination, or the shims that I used. So for pinion shims, I used 1 31 thousandths and 4 of the 7 thousandths, giving a total of 59 thousandths on the pinion gear. And that gave me a depth of 2.55025. What was etched on the face of the pinion, or the flat part, was 2.551. So that's pretty darn close. Let's see, on the differential shims, I used a total of 59 thousandths on the left side, which is on the ring gear side, and 108 thousandths on the right side, which gave me preload also. Total was 167. I had a backlash of 7 thousandths at the very end, and the pinion preload is set to 22 inch-pounds. So, and I have a not perfect pattern on the gear teeth, but pretty darn close to it. I mean, the coast side is a little close to the heel, but it doesn't run off. The drive side is almost perfectly centered. So I think I'm going to be good to go. Nothing is running into the root or off the gear, and that's the key thing from what Auburn Gear told me. All right, I thought I'd stop here for today. I just kind of cleaned up and put things away to get ready for the final installation process, and that'll be coming tomorrow, where I'll install the axles on either end of the axle tubes, and those are over here. Well, not that one, but these two here. These are G2's chrome moly axles, and they're one-piece axles as opposed to the two-piece old unit, so much stronger. And anyhow, so I'll have to assemble those in tomorrow, and I just wanted to give you a view of what this Auburn Gear grip and lock looks like. And so I'm not sure exactly how this works, but these are springs that activate based on the biasing of where traction is needed, I guess, and give the friction plates what they need to do what they need to do. So I've heard really good things about this. Probably the best friction disc type of setup on the market, and I really like the company. This unit, as well as all their stuff, is made in the United States. And when you call there, you can get somebody on the phone and actually talk to them. In fact, the guy that helped me, get this gear contact pattern and stuff set up right, make sure it was good, is from Auburn Gear, and so he was real helpful. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. And so if you like the video content, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Have a good day. Later.